So let's start. You guys said you want to start with who do I think is the best character in the game? I'll start with who I think the best character is, and then the worst character. I think Base Vegeta. I think Base Vegeta is the best character in the game right now. This character, though, let me preface this though. This character is the best in the game, but I think they are the hardest top tier. Like they're one of the hardest, not the hardest maybe, but this character is pretty hard to play in general. In terms of like neutral to some extent. Like I'm talking about like high level Base Vegeta. I think this character is pretty hard, but it's also pretty good. Now, a bad character? Let's see. Probably 16. Cross-up Rocket is hard? Nah, you're thinking about online Base Vegeta. Online Base Vegeta. I don't care about online players. I'm talking about high level only. The way people play a character online doesn't affect how I think about a character. So, like, it does that kind of like playstyle and the way people play online with the character doesn't really reflect how the character is offline as well. Or at least for me, like at the high level. Like an online tier list, I already have. Okay, next character. Let's move on up from the bottom. So I think 16 is probably the worst character in the game. I think. It's like him or Videl. I think her or Videl are like the worst or him or Videl. 16 or Videl. Probably the two worst. Nah. See, it's I don't know who to argue, you know? It's kind of just like an opinion. I feel like I can't argue for which one's better. Like they're both just bad, you know? Just straight up, they're both kind of garbage. After that, let me put the top tier. Put Bardock. Let's see. Let's think about this. I think Broly, Kid Buu, Blue Goku. I'll explain why. I'm just trying to get it down so I can talk about it. Oh wait. Where's the goat? The goat. Where is he? There we go. Oh, Teen Gohan. All right. Seems about right. I think that S tier is like. I think that these characters are the absolute best in the game. These characters. S tier. I think these are the absolute best characters in the game. Now, the hot take was GT. A lot of people, for some reason, think GT's not good, but he's so broken. Still super broken. You just have to be good at the game. Okay, I think these are the absolute best characters. Hold on, I'm not doing the channel points right now because I'm gonna use this as a YouTube video. GT might be gas? Nah, trolling. Alright. So I'm gonna put all the characters down and then I'm gonna talk about it. I think this is the best tier list. I think. So let me explain. Let me explain why each character is where they are. Okay? I'm gonna go like a bit in depth, right? But let me explain what A means, what S means, what B means. So like I said before, S tier best characters in the game. I think these characters in the S tier, in my opinion, are the absolute, like, they're just the best. I think these characters are way above the other tier of characters, right? Like in this category, I would say all these characters are like, you can't go wrong with putting any one of them on your team. You can put more than one of them on your team, right? Is it ordered? Not really. I wouldn't really say it's ordered. You could say S is roughly ordered. Roughly. Yeah, so like S, like they're just, there is no going wrong. There is no wrong with these characters. They're just so good. Order that shit? No. Calm down. I don't have enough brain power for that, bucko. But yeah, I think these characters are the best this season from what I've seen. Like Base Vegeta, like I said, man, I think Base Vegeta just like has everything. He just has everything. I think like his overall neutral, the game plan, the set play, the damage is like the most rewarding thing. Like you can play him very differently, but when I've played like high level Base Vegeta, it's just like you get hit and like the game, like that character is maybe dead, you know. So yeah, it's kind of I think he's a very like polarizing character, and I'm surprised more people don't play him. But I think it's because we're playing online right now, so it's a little annoying to play him. But I think offline, this character is super strong. Now Bardock, this character has been good ever since he's been in the game. No music? Alright, I'll keep it with no music. Yeah, Bardock is just like his like, yeah, exactly, kind of what Leo's saying. It's like his tool set is just, it's really good. It doesn't really lose to anything, honestly. Like you have the auto, you have 5LL, you have Lariat, you have Key Blast, EX Lariat, 5H, 2H are really good, 5S, like literally I could just name the whole fucking character's moveset, right? Everything is good. And like even the assists, right? You have A assist, it works super well with like rushdown characters, B assist for more neutral based characters, right? Yeah, the damage output, not really a set play character, but it doesn't matter. Like this character is just so strong. Like if you have really strong fundamentals in fighting games, and especially in Dragon Ball, like this character is definitely one that like will accentuate what you're looking to do in this game. Broly, people may or may not agree with me putting Broly this high in S tier, but I think Broly, like, this character is super polarizing and is super easy to play. They nerfed him compared to last season, like a lot of the setups and stuff that he had before. But even with that like being said, if you play him anchor, or even like bring him in like before the anchor even happens, bro, like this character is, for lack of a better term, like the scrub killer. Like if you make this most simple mistake, or you run out of patience, you know, stuff like that, like this character punishes you for not playing the game properly. If you're playing against someone like with a competent Broly, like this game really, like this character really just punishes you for playing the game the way you are at most levels, especially like the high level. Like this character, it just smokes you for messing up like the smallest mistakes, right? So this character forces you to be on point, and the damage buffs they gave him, right? They apparently the fast level 3, his L plus M 214, like it was bugged, so it did less damage in season 3, and then they fixed it so it goes back to doing its normal amount of a shit ton of damage. So that is strong. Like, he just does so much damage, especially in Limit Break. I think Limit Break is his best position, either second or anchor. Having him with Limit Break is so good. And then he's probably like one of the only characters I'd save Spark for, but sometimes it's not worth it. But like if you just so happen to have Spark and Limit Break with Broly, like you get a jab and someone loses 90%, bro. Like that's crazy. He uses meter very well because 214H is super strong. It's this character overall very good. The 5S, the 5L. He has the same thing Bardock has, where if someone like super dashes at you, you can just hit jab and you can hit confirm it with 5LL or 5M. You know, that's another super strong thing. super strong thing about him is just like winning those like scenarios that happen a lot in games. If someone you block an air super dash, you just do 2-1-4H. If they try to do something, you hit them out of it, or you grab them out of it rather. So yeah, I think you know, this character super good, super easy to play. I think too, if you just put in a little bit of effort. All right, my boy, you already know the vibes. Kid Buu. I think Kid Buu is this high in S tier because he's a character with a very high ceiling, because it depends on this is me, like I'm trying to be as objective as possible. So like with all these characters, I'm not really trying to be biased in my opinions of where I'm putting them. These are just like my objective thoughts of what makes the character strong, and like just certain things about that in general, like that players need to do or that are unaware. So like Kid Buu, I think Kid Buu is this high, but he kind of has a similar thing to base Vegeta, where he has a very high ceiling with the players, like the players' abilities. Like basically, the better you are, the better this character will be. Same thing with base Vegeta, Bardock, Broly, same thing. It's very easy to make mistakes and very easy to get punished as this character, right? You can just be mashing 1M, get whiff punished. You might just super dash a bunch, get used to like mashing Ki Blast or just doing EX Ball, right? Those are all very strong options, but you have to know when to use them and how to use them to really take advantage of like this character's strengths, like super high damage output with the right touches, like if you're in the corner basically. Like the punish game, the movement, all that stuff is super good. Super good, and just allows him to like I said, like the better your fundamentals are, Buu damage is low, you gotta learn some combos, bucko. He be doing damage. Buu is weak? True. My bad. I'm supposed to be downplaying Kid Buu. But nah, he's really good though. I just think he's very weird. Like everyone's like, he's such a mashy character, blah blah blah. Yeah, like at the surface he seems like that, but like once you get like better and better with the character, he's very weird to play. But he's definitely strong for sure. But yeah, let's move on. UI Goku, the newest character, right? I think he is very strong, and he has a lot of privilege in terms of things he gets to get away with. Like, you know, he has the wake up. He has the special wake up, right? Holding Dragon Rush, you get the DP that moves him forward, and then you can either vanish or counter super or do nothing, right? And then to most players, they don't know how to handle that situation. So it's very weird. It's pretty funny. You can just RPS someone on their wake up. Pretty good. Shout out Lord Knight. His damage output very high. Like probably the easiest combos in the game. Honestly, like this is another character. Like I said, with all these characters, you can just slap them at any like spot on your team, and they'll do pretty good. Like overall, like his kit, normal special moves, everything super useful. Has a move that gives him advantage on block. That's not something a lot of characters have meterlessly, right? Bardock has it, UI Goku has it, some other characters have it, but they're not as fast startup or as like mix up heavy, right? With the flips, you can do like DP, you can do into grab and Kamehameha or into the L follow up. So I think overall, this character is about top 5 for sure. It's like him and Yamcha are like tied in my opinion. I think these characters are both like top 5, but you know, for the sake of numbers, I'll just put this character here because I think he edges Yamcha out a bit better. I do think though UI Goku's neutral is a bit lacking because you have to commit to a lot of things. A lot of these characters right here, you don't really have to commit. You don't have to commit to neutral. You kind of just like play around the opponent really well, and you can make opportunities happen in general, like pretty easily. But this character, you have to like commit, and you have to do a lot of stuff and make decisions. So that, nonetheless, you don't really get punished usually for making those decisions. But if they're like really bad, like, and you're playing against a good player, and they'll punish you, yeah, then that's why I think this character will be here. Has a bit of a learning curve, but you know, a gorilla nonetheless. Similar to Bardock, shades of Bardock in this character with their auto combo, the normals, the way you use some of their special moves as well. Very strong. I don't think so. Another big thing about UI Goku is the double level 1. Double level 1 does so much damage. The follow up doing 500 more, right? Does 500 more damage? Crazy. I think Bardock's double super only does like 300 more or something. So that's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Nobody else can do that. Yeah, no one else can DHC into level 2. No one else can do that. That shit is actually pretty crazy. Oh, Beerus. True. Beerus. Yeah. But Beerus ain't S tier, so he don't matter. Krillin can? Oh, Krillin can too. True. Oh, Tien, Ginyu. Okay. Yeah, another S tier character can do it. Tien, that's literally all Tien can do is do supers, honestly. That's all that character is good for. See, look at Leo fucking me up, dude. I think Yamcha is... He is like top 5 for sure, but you know, like I explained, just for like numbers sake, I'll put him here. I think that he is one of the biggest threats in season 3 for sure. For sure, one of the biggest threats in season 3. Just for the fact of like limit break. And one thing a lot of people don't mention is limit break giving you that extra meter, right? Limit break giving you that extra meter is super good for characters like Yamcha or like Broly, or just just like characters in general, like your anchor character in general. And then EX moves being half off too helps him a lot with neutral also. So I think that he's super strong, especially in limit break. But overall, super strong. Like you've seen characters like Kazunoko, like Nakiol, play this character in season 1 when he was pretty bare bones. Like he didn't have a lot of the stuff he has now, you know, damage wise and like just frame data wise. A lot of things we hadn't figured out yet about this character, and he was still super strong. And you know, they made some of his moves slower, but it doesn't really matter. Like his neutral and just being able to like set the pace of the game. That's the thing. This character, he did have EX jailed in the match. He did, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. It's half off now, so it's okay. But he's one of the only characters that get to legit punish off of reflect. If you reflect and do instant EX Wolfang Fist, you actually get a punish. He's one of the only characters in the game that can do that. Off the top of my head, I don't know who else does it, but I know Yamcha's is a legitimate punish. It's actually super cool. That's one of the cool things about playing Yamcha that a lot of people don't do. I wish they would. It's a lot of damage, especially if you're in limit break. Maybe Teen Gohan? I think Teen Gohan. I think with EX? Yeah. Yeah, like Yamcha overall, very, very strong character, very solid. At first, when you play him, he might seem a little like I said earlier, like just bare bones, super basic, but that's kind of the point of the character. He's made to be that basic because if you really want to get good at using those small, or not small, but like those, like he has very limited tools, but they're all super important in a different way. Like his jump medium, jump jab, the ki blast, 236H, all that in general. Those are like the main ones off the top of my head. But if you get good at using all those moves, your Yamcha will be super strong. And I think, you know, all the really, really good Yamcha players use those things that I mentioned pretty well. Alright, so let's go to Blue Goku. This is a character, you know, we've seen a lot of people playing, I think, in Season 3. For sure, a lot more with some of the buffs they gave him. With the J214H. The J214H buff, where it kind of makes it like perfect attack, right? That's new, I'm pretty sure, to Season 3? Did he have that before? Oh no, he had that before. What did they change about him? I think it's the assist buff, and then people just getting like other assists helped this character a lot too. Right, that was a Season 2 edition. I forgot. But it is half a bar. So he gets a 50-50 from good block stun assists. So, but yeah, so I mean, this character overall benefited just from other characters getting better, and also getting a new assist helped him, but they buffed his A assist. It's pretty good too. Ground bounce and the sliding knockdown. Pretty good, I think. Pretty good overall character. His damage output is super high. Very unique combos, in my opinion, compared to like most characters in Dragon Ball. Yeah, he only gets it from high block stun ones. But But yeah, I think this character is very unique, even though he's a Goku. He's unique in the playstyle and his frame data with the 4M super strong tool. I think it's a super strong tool to just use to make yourself minus and also space out. This is something that not a lot of people do. I do it quite often in DBFZ, is like space out your opponent to make them whiff a button and then whiff punish them after. This is one of the characters that's totally should abuse that. A lot of people don't for some reason. Like Bardock is super easy to do it with, Base Vegeta is super easy to do it with. Broly kind of, but this is one character where this is legit like your bread and butter, right? But yeah, the main selling points of this character is like high damage, good mix-up, solid neutral overall. I think that's what makes him very good. Teen Gohan. Teen Gohan, for some reason, a lot of people think he fell off this season. I don't agree. His neutral is basically the same. You just run around and run away from your opponent and hit Ki Blast, because his Ki Blast is so fucking broken. It's so fast. I don't know the frame data. It's like 13 frames or something like that. I don't know. Or like 10 frames or some shit. I don't know. It's super good. Bottom line, the Ki Blast is super good. One of the best in the game. 10 frames. Yeah, it's like 10 frames or something. Super good. 11. Yeah, it's fast. It's fast for Ki Blast to hit you from full screen. Pretty fast. 23 frames full screen. Sounds about right. Yeah. Sounds about right. If it's 11 or something. But yeah, let's keep going. Another top tier that requires a bit more effort than some of these dudes, besides Base Vegeta. But I think Teen Gohan overall, like, the only hard thing about this character is just learning combos. Kinda like Base Vegeta. Base Vegeta, like his neutral, you could just get punished sometimes if you're playing like really recklessly. But I think Teen Gohan is really just about learning combos, and then like your mix-ups kind of like do themselves. Honestly, with the EX legs or baiting guard cancel, that's kind of like the big thing with this character. Is just baiting defensive things in general. And then of course you have auto combo. You can never really go wrong with mashing auto combo, to be honest. But yeah, just super high damage output, super good mix-ups, good at baiting like bad defensive habits in general. Has a DP, something that's super strong, on top of already having reflect, delay wake up, tech, you know, just teching in general. Like he has a good amount of, you know, just options on offense and on defense. Alright, Trunks. I think Trunks is a bit overhyped this season. Like people were like, oh my god, he has the beam assist, he has this, blah blah blah, right? I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's super good, but I think you have to be either like a character specialist, like someone who's been playing Trunks for a while, so that you understand how to play the character, right? Or you just have to be really, really good fundamentally at Dragon Ball to take advantage of this character. So I think he has a bit of a learning curve in general, and I don't think he's very easy to just pick up and play because he's so weird. His normals are really stubby in general. They're slow, like hitting buttons in the air, like outside of jab. His buttons are like really slow and kind of like they're just weird. They're not big. They're just really weird. His special moves, like the EX flip stuff, is hype, but it does require a lot of practice and muscle memory to get used to doing like EX flip mix-ups depending on what assists you're using. So like I said, bit of a learning curve and a bit of an execution barrier. I wouldn't say it's too hard because I can kind of do it. So like if I can kind of do it, I think other people can do it because my execution's really bad. So that's kind of like where I draw the line. If like the character is hard to execute with or not, because my execution's horrible. Even though like I can play this game, right? That doesn't mean my execution's good. Let's keep it going though. But I mean, on the plus side though, right? High mix-up capability, high damage relatively, good synergy with assists, and his like DHC is good. That's something a lot of people don't talk about too. Is like having a good super to Z change into or from. Super good. He does a lot of damage. Like those single hitting fireball supers, super good. Yeah, let's move on to GT Goku. GT Goku character was once the GOAT, but now only one of the GOATs, you know? He fell off a little bit. I wouldn't say like Goichi had him like bottom A tier or like top mid A tier on his last tier list, but I still think this character is super, super, super broken. In terms of their neutral, this character sets the pace so well because it forces you to look for things. Like, even though they nerfed 214H, you still have to look for it. You still have to, because if you're asleep, it's just gonna happen, right? And then if you're looking for that, why don't I just do 236H? Or I just float around you and play normal neutral instead of just trying to use my meter, right? So I think the selling points for this character are that he has high damage and high meter build most of the time in the corner. He still builds like 2 meters solo, so he still builds a lot of character. Or a lot of meter, excuse me. He still has a lot of potential to do high damage as well, because they nerfed the Spirit Bomb damage a little bit, like slightly, but you can still combo after it is the big thing. And he lost the Oki, so this character lacks mix-ups really, unless you play Kid Buu. Honestly, like Kid Buu or like Bardock or something, like Bardock B. But yeah, overall lacking mix-ups, so it's a bit hard to just slap this character on your team if you're trying to do mix-ups with him. But if you're trying to just have a solid neutral, this character has the best neutral assist in the game, I think. Like GTA from over 2k to 1.3k. I thought it used to do like 1.9. Spirit Bomb used to do 1.9, if I remember correctly. Because Grab, or Spirit Bomb into Grab used to do like 2 point something. Like 2.3 or some shit. I forgot. Yeah, S is like roughly ordered. The rest is not ordered. I'm not ordering the rest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to order like the rest. It really doesn't, in my opinion. Like, these characters are all the same level of strong, except for after Tien. After Tien, these characters are kind of like whatever, in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, best assist in the game, super high damage output. So the selling, like I said, the selling points for this: high damage, high meter build, good synergy, but is a bit hard to make him synergize with others, so he's a bit greedy. So that's why I can get away with playing him with Kid Buu, because I still get a 50-50. So yeah, it works out with that. Yeah, let's move on. Base Goku. Base Goku, basically, this character, I feel like I don't have to explain too much, because I feel like the reason why he's S tier now is because they just made him very easy to play this season. I feel like last season he was a bit hard to play as a character and playstyle wise, but I think this season he's pretty easy overall. Like, his like combo routes feel really simple. The neutral feel the only thing I'll say that's hard about this character is the neutral. Everything else I feel like is a bit easier. Maybe it's because of my inexperience with the character, but after playing him for a bit during Season 2 and during Season 3, I feel like Season 3 he's super duper strong, especially because of the buff to the Kaioken super, right? You can now get Z changes. You can get Z changes post dive, or you can do the super post dive rather, right? The Kaioken super follow up, so like the beam, and stuff like that. So that way you can get Z changes, whereas before you couldn't get Z changes unless you had a tracking super or a super that just hit like full screen. But yeah, I think overall, like, this character kind of has it all. Like, all his assists are pretty good. He has a C beam assist. It's one hit, but it's really fast. It's really good. The B assist, if you have meter hungry characters that don't require mix up assists or neutral assists, super duper strong. If you just have characters that use meter really well, the B assist is totally worth picking. That's something I've been playing since the start of Season 3. Yeah, super duper strong character. The damage output is crazy. Like, if you learn the proper routes for Kaioken, or even just like the normal combo routes and then the Kaioken routes, like, your damage output just goes up so much. Like, just doing like really basic combos will net you a lot of damage, but doing the advanced combos that like you'll see like Wawa doing, or like me sometimes, I wouldn't say I'm like really really good base Goku, but I think my base Goku is up there. In terms of like knowing how to play the character, but like just watching Wawas, from what I learned how to play the character, like that dude just does so much damage all the time. So yeah, this character, one of the best, easily, along with everyone else here. Ginyu. All right, let me explain Ginyu. this character like has the stigma or like the common perception from like the public people, like from the just the viewer side of the community, that he's really hard to play. I don't know where that came from. Maybe it was from like season 1 and no one really played him in season 2 because like it was really hard to play him in season 2 because of like GT Goku assist and all that shit, right? But season 3 Ginyu is pretty fucking easy. Like, that's something a lot of people are gonna get mad about, but this character is really easy. It's super. You just pick Ginyu, you pick 2 really strong neutral assists, and you summon. And then you just hit buttons. I wouldn't say Ginyu's gimmicks. You have to remember a bunch of combos. That's fine. That's not that hard. Just practice your combos. That's not that hard. Just practice your combos. I would say though, Ginyu has a lot of bad matchups. Like Vegito kind of beats him. A lot of the top tier beat him, but I think he's still super good. The damage output is super high. The synergy you can have with Ginyu is super high. He's one of the only characters that like can snowball super fast. Like the way this character snowballs you is just crazy. They gave him a new level 3 that does a bunch of damage, just a ton of damage, honestly. So for Boo, I think Boo is they kind of nerfed him a little bit because of the rising normals and like just fuzzies being gone. So that nerfed some of his setups, but I think overall Boo's neutral. I think Boo's neutral overall is very strong. The Ki Blast is very good. The normals on the ground and on the air are pretty fast and really good at just reacting and punishing. And then like the set play in general, like I've seen a couple of Boo players along with Alien, I just forget their names, that are doing some good stuff with this character. So I think I put Boo like last because it's like potential. I think that this character on paper is S. All these other characters are like proven to me that they're S tier, but I don't think this character's like been proven to me yet. But I do think like probably S tier for sure. All right, so that's S tier. For these guys, probably I'm not gonna go too in depth with these guys because I feel like these I had to clear up pretty well. But everyone else here, I'm gonna go one by one, but I'm not gonna go as ham as I did with these guys. So Gotenks. Why is Gotenks not S tier? Gotenks is... he is not S tier because you need a lot of meter to play him. The play style that Gotenks kind of requires you to play, I don't want to say requires, but benefits from, is like very like you have to kind of do a lot of risky things in general. Like he's kind of like a very mashy character, and I don't think at like the highest level, like it's really hard to get away with that unless you're really good at it, right? Like with Kazunoko, like playing that fast pace, like challenging your opponent on everything they're doing. Like he's playing Gotenks again from what I've seen, so I think that's a good fit for Kazunoko. Especially like Ghost Ogi is still strong, but I think the problem though is just that like it takes a lot of meter to do it, a lot of maintenance, conditioning your opponent especially. But I think the character's strong, almost S tier, but not enough. I think just not enough. He just doesn't benefit enough from like some of the system mechanics as well, and the damage is relatively low too. But I think the meter thing is the real thing that holds him back. If he didn't have the meter problem, Mamba, you can just watch the VOD. Then I think he would be higher tier, but that's why I put him there. Vegeta, always a character I think that have thought that is like just strong because of how they take advantage of just like the system mechanics and just the game in general. Like this is like the Ryu, I think. I think Vegeta is like the Ryu of the game, where like you don't need to have like extensive knowledge about the game or like characters, stuff like that. You play the same way against everyone. It just really comes down to your decision making. So like with Ki Blast, you have DP in the air. Your combo routes can be very, very strong, as seen by like Fenrich, right? He kind of just makes stuff up as he goes. The damage output generally is very high. Like, just super good character. Super solid. Relatively easy to play. Relatively. Because I can say, when it gets a bit scrambly with Vegeta, your reactions have to be on point. But that's why it's a bit harder to play him. But he's not really cheap. That's why he's A tier. He's not really cheap. He doesn't have anything super cheap. So I think he's in like a good. This is like a good spot for him. All right, 21. 21. I think she's very good. I think she at one point was one of the best characters in the game, like season 1. But since then, right, they nerfed her damage, they nerfed her meter build, they nerfed her ability to do mix-ups because they gave the command grab freaking landing recovery, right? But where she does shine is her neutral. I think her neutral, she's one of the only characters in the game that doesn't really need assists to play neutral for her. Her 2S, her 5S, her jump S. 2S is super broken. 2S is super broken. She doesn't have line recovery. Or she like kind of does, but like she never really gets punished for it. Like full screen at least. Like 2S is just such a good grounded 2S is such a good normal. JS also. The dive normal or the dive special also good. And the fact that she gets the stocks now after level 3, that was like a mechanic that was pretty like it wasn't like used too much. It was very like niche and like very specific when you would use it season 2 and season 1, but now you just get it all the time. So it's really cool to see people using it in neutral, using it in mix-ups, using them for setups. So I think 21, her damage is still kind of high as well, and she synergizes well with other characters. She's a very good point or mid. Anchor she works too, but I think what holds her back is just like she can't really do mix-ups, honestly. Like the way she displays the game, she just has to beat the opponent in neutral. Her thing isn't beating characters because you overwhelm them and do mix-ups. You just have to beat your opponent in neutral. Is the I think the main thing. But yeah, moving on. Broly. Broly or S Broly, I had ranked a bit higher, but I think this is a good spot for him. A tier. Damage output super high. Neutral kind of so-so, honestly. You kind of have to commit a lot and force their hand, like your opponent's hand first, which is something I don't think is very good, especially in this game. Being forced to commit to an option first in this game is not fun because it gives your opponent time to react and time to punish you or just avoid the situation entirely. So I think characters like that are not as strong as the S tier. S tier, you don't generally see characters doing that, or you don't have to. They just benefit from existing on the screen. But I still think overall super solid. One of the best characters for sure. Very easy too. That's something I forgot to talk about with the S tiers. Like most of them pretty easy to play. Most of them. Some of them bit of a learning curve, but Broly generally pretty easy. The normals are relatively fast, except for the stand jab. Stand jab's pretty slow, but the 2L pretty good normal. It's just a bit awkward to use it and hit confirm it, but pretty good character, you know. Lacks mix-ups really, but they're command grab characters, so it's like you either frame trap them or you command grab them, right? And then the EX command grab 214H like catches people jumping if they jump it. Like that shit is just that move's a meme. It's pretty funny. Here we go with Cell. Cell, damage output high, meter build relatively high as well. They synergizes pretty well with most characters in the game, but overall, I think like the thing Cell struggles with is, I think, like when people are near the character, like overall the character's buttons are just slow and has very like not fast hitboxes or not big hitboxes with their jab, their stand jab. The 5M is like a lower hitting hitbox, right? More for grounded. The 2M being slow hurts as well. So I just think though, like fighting with this character is a bit hard. Yeah, I used to main Cell. I main Cell for season 1, all of season 1. I main Cell for all of season 1. I dropped him in season 2 because I didn't like the way He was. He wasn't really like the same. It wasn't that fun. But yeah, I think this character though is still super strong despite all that. It's just you kind of have to put in more work than the average character. And then like that goes in with like Piccolo, kinda. Piccolo, I feel like Piccolo's only good normals are like jumping jab, 5M, and 5H. I feel like those normals are like the only good normals Piccolo has. Oh, and like the 2M. The 2M is 11 frames. Pretty good. But I feel like when someone's on top of you as Piccolo, that's kind of when he struggles with too. When characters are near him and it's not in his favor, he kind of struggles to like fight. So it's really weird to just like fight back as Piccolo. But I think the set play is good when you get things rolling. Like his Oki with the orb, super good. The buffed A assist, very, very good. Jump light, brain dead, sword normal, hits from full screen, super good. Damage output, relatively high in the corner with the right assists off the right kind of touch. Meter build super high too. Builds a lot of meter as well. Super good. You know, Piccolo, kind of a specific character though, so you kind of have to like make a team around him, or you can just like kind of slap him in the middle and he'll like work most of the time, but sometimes you can't always do that and you kind of have to make a team around him. So that's where I put Piccolo. Kefla, I think Kefla was very hyped up in the beginning of Season 3. Relatively so. She showed a lot of promise, I think, but I don't think she is as crazy as we all thought with like the Hell Zone Super, but I think her damage output is super good, and the ability to get sliding knockdown is not something a lot of characters have meterlessly or solo too as well, or solo and meterlessly rather. So yeah, I think this character is pretty good, the damage output. The only thing is like I think her normals are a bit weird to use, but her jab is really good. Like her stand jab and her air jab, I think they're both really good. Her air medium, similar to Bardock, a bit faster, I think, or a bit slower because of like the startup and like the active frames they differ a bit. But I think she's a bit awkward to use, and getting used to her normals is a little bit weird. But she's very straightforward game plan wise. Kind of like you want to overwhelm your opponent, string them up, get them tired of blocking, and then bait out bad defensive habits, similar to some other characters that we've already talked about. Another character that's similar doing that, Vegito. I think this character, like I said, one of the only characters, there are not many characters that can do this. They can play neutral by themselves. Like 236S and the sword being able to jump S, being able to whiff punish characters below them. Not many people have that ability. I don't think anyone has that ability to just instantly whiff punish someone that's below them. I guess Kid Buu with EX Ball, right? But you gotta use meter. Vegito, you just do S and get a full combo off of it. Pretty good. The damage is good. This character, their damage output is super high. Their mix of ability is pretty non-existent outside of like some kind of gimmicky things and specific assist setups. But this character is not about, like I said with 21, they're not about doing mix-ups. They're about baiting bad defensive habits out of your opponent and also punishing them for doing things in neutral and making them do things in neutral because their neutral is so strong also. And now we're in Nappa. Nappa, I think, I don't really respect this character too much because I haven't really played against a good Nappa, so like, I don't know, this is just me talking, but I guess objectively, I would say this character is good, right? They made the setups easier to get because they're, the Cybermen is half off. From what I've seen, the damage is pretty high off of the right hits, but very strong mix-up setups with the right assists and the right hits in the corner because you can get the EX Cybermen setups right. And I don't really understand too much just because I haven't played really like a good Nappa in general because there's no offline, right? So pretty hard for me to have an opinion about a character that a lot of people are saying is strong, and you know I just don't know enough about. But I think that this character is good though. I think he's good. Not horrible. Krillin, you know, they gave him the beam assist. His supers do a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage in general. Oh yeah, Nappa assist is also good. The A assist, super good. Just an explosion, super plus. Good hitbox, good hit stun too. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, Krillin. I think Krillin is Krillin is very strong, good mix-up capability. The rock assist I think is the best thing about him. To be honest, I think the rock assist is super duper strong. Yeah, like just the rock assist. Throwing out rocks in neutral too is actually kind of good now because they cost half a meter and they don't go away, so you can't like super dash them and shit like that. Like I think that is super strong. The damage output of Krillin is surprisingly pretty high off the right touches. You just have to learn your specific routes for specific combos as well, and then you kind of get it down from there. Not too hard. And yeah, his assists are good. The rock assist, the Kamehameha assist mainly. I won't really be covering C assist too much outside of like Z Broly and like 21. Those are like the best C assists. Oh, Kid Buu C assist pretty good. Freaking base Goku C assist also pretty strong as well. But yeah, that pretty much covers it. Like the mix-up ability with Krillin is very strong as well, with the right assist and the right setup, with the EX after image and stuff like that. So then we go to Android 18. I think Android 18 is she kind of struggles a bit because of the snap nerf, but to counteract that, they gave you 214H, right? Or is it 236? Whatever the EX17 summon is. Whatever the EX17 summon is. That move is super good. That move is super good. I think that move is like, it makes up for how she struggles because she doesn't have snapback anymore. She gets to lock down the opponent and make them make a decision on their Oki now. Like she legitimately gets Oki because like that covers like the up tech, the down tech, the back tech. It covers everything, right? It's pretty strong, and like you can bait out your opponent's like habits and force them to make a decision. So I think that's pretty good. Her assists are pretty good. The Destructo Disc has a bunch of hit stun. It's pretty big too. They buffed her auto combo. That's a big thing as well. I think it's pretty strong. Damage output in general is pretty high. Meter build is like okay, and her super is good too. So that always helps. 17. I think 17 overall is an okay character. He's another one of those dudes that is built to play neutral, not to really do mix-ups. So the thing is, when you get the hits, they matter a lot because you can build so much damage if you know like the correct 17 routes from the players that I've played and I've seen some people play. Like you just build so much meter, and in general, he does a lot of damage because you just dump it in the meter, right? And usually, like frame data wise, he's okay. Some of his stuff is like punishable if you know about it, like some of the Rekkas and other things like that. Very punishable on reaction, so it's kind of you need to like study up a bit on some of the gaps he has with like the Rekkas and other things like that. But I think very strong, like super good meter output, very good neutral or meter build. Damage output is super high, super good I think overall. And then we move to Beerus. I think Beerus, they did a good job buffing him this season, but I feel like after 17, the character quality kind of just falls off a little bit. Except for we can move like you up here and then you up here. But let me talk about Beerus. I think Beerus he just really can't like do anything crazy. He's very simple. And this is me like not knowing enough, I think, about the characters in general, but I think Beerus is like he's okay. He's not horrible, but he's not super duper good. You could like play him on your team, but it's not the best decision. That damage output is pretty good from what I've seen in general, and a bit unique with some of the combos he does, but I just don't think that he is just super good. I don't think so. But he's not horrible. It's just relative in like the A tier, he's not super good. His normals aren't too good either, so it doesn't help. Actually, I'll put these two a bit higher. Okay, Janemba. Janemba, I think, is a case of like a very unique character, and he's good, but I don't think he has been like proven I don't think he's. I haven't seen enough that makes me think, wow, Cooler's probably way better. You know, that's my thing. His damage output is good. Meter build, I don't know too much. His assists are good too, but I just don't know enough about the character, like objectively, to say that he's better. I'm not one of the people that like falls into the hype of saying like, oh man, this character is so good because I think blah blah. Like I don't really care to do that. So for me, where like realistically, I think to put like I would put them. I think I'd put these characters here. Put this character here in general. Zamasu. He's a weird character because his damage output is super high. I think his damage output is really good, but he can't really open you up. I don't think. At least when I've played against Zamasu players offline, they kind of just like mash and try to steal turns a lot and do a lot of like weird and like wacky things, but like I don't think this character is as good as a lot of people say. There's really no reason to be scared of him when he's on the screen. The neutral is like so-so. The assists are really good. I think his A assist is really good. I think his like the A assist takes up a lot of space and has a lot of hit stun, and the block stun is good too. Just very good at taking up space on the screen as well. I think that's something that he's good at, but you know, not much to be afraid of when he's on the screen as a character. Not much. Okay, where are we at? Goku. Goku fell off. He used to be top 10, one of the best characters for free, but then they nerfed the 2M. That really smoked him. That really smoked him. But besides the 2M, like his damage output, he lost some combos because of that too, so it kind of fucked up his damage a bit. I haven't really seen a lot of SSJ players too, which is pretty sad because the character is actually pretty cool. But yeah, like he just fell off because the 2M was so important. Like it was just a really good poke tool on hit. It led to so much on block. It was like -5. It was like -5 or something. I forgot. But yeah, it was crazy. The frame data was super crazy, and it was super good. But now, I kind of think he's just so-so. I think he's still good. You just have to put in a lot of effort overall to play Goku. And yeah, that's a good point. Other characters got beam assists too, so that's why his value on the team overall fell off, because before it was like this is the best character with the best beam assist to play. But yeah, but now other characters have beam assists. You can choose that if you want to play beam but not play Goku. You can do that, so it's just really cool. Helps the game synergize. Cooler, I put here. I think he might be better, but so let's get to why I think he's good and then why I think he's bad. So he's good because his frame data, he has a lot of ways to make himself plus and to frame trap people. Pretty good. That is pretty good, and not a lot of characters can do it. But his damage output, super high. Doesn't build the most meter, but that's why he does a lot of damage, right? Along with like frame trapping people and stuff like that. I think though what makes him bad is the lack of tools, and he's very reactable on block and in neutral. So it's very easy to make a cooler like do 3H or to do a dive kick or do key blast, something like that. You can react to them doing 214S. You can, you know, I think with the proper training, you can react to a lot of Cooler's offensive options. Oh, he also has dive kick. He has air dive kick. His C is, or not dive kick, DP, excuse me. He has DP, which a lot of characters do not have. Air DP is super good. Can't forget about that. He's a very good neutral character. Doesn't really do mix-ups. He's one of those. You just kind of have to play him and then have assists for neutral. But yeah, I think that's what makes him kind of like weaker than the other characters. It's just like it's really easy to bait out his options and to just punish him for playing neutral as well. That's like the other side of the coin.
Yes, sir.
So Tien, this is S tier. This is A tier. S tier is right here, buddy. Tien. I think after this, the characters are kind of like, they're not bad, but they're like okay. I think they're okay. So Tien, like, what does he do? Honestly, like, even when Apology Man played him, he was like the only Tien player that was placing, right? But he just played him for the beam assist. It wasn't really like the they're like, oh my god, Tien can do this. You know, Tien I feel like just has damage, and his normals are pretty fast. That's what makes him good. Like he has pretty fast normals. He can fight pretty well, but like he doesn't really play neutral that well, and he doesn't really have mix-up games. So it's like you kind of just like are praying to get a hit and then get the damage output right from the meter. From the meter you may or may not have to spend it on supers and stuff like that. He does do a lot of damage from you know, spending meter and stuff like that. But like he's not good. I don't think he's that good, but he's not like as bad as the B tier. I think the B tier is kind of like whatever. Yeah, he has EX chop and a slow command grab. The command grab, like, you should never get thrown by it offline. It's super easy to react to. I usually don't even jump it. I just hit a button. It's so slow. it's so slow. But yeah, the EX chop is okay for when you do get offense, but you rarely get offense most of the time because the Tien's neutral is just not that good. Frieza. I think Frieza, this character overall, I think is strong, and they're very good at putting things on the screen, but it's a very risky playstyle that can get you killed a lot of times, because like, excuse me, if you're not covering someone's like super dash, or you're not covering someone's someone like mashing a certain thing on like one of your strings or in neutral and stuff like that, like you really get blown up. So you have to be thinking ahead of a lot of the time, or just have like an assist covering you, or hitting like 5H at the right time, or 2Hing at the right time. I think this character, like the strong points, are like high damage output off the right hits, good meter build, good assists all around, but kind of weird to play. Very weird playstyle that I've seen a lot of Frieza players play. And like when I played Frieza 2, it was a bit weird to play him. Hit. I think Hit, they kind of nerfed his combo routes, right? That was like the big thing people complained, but overall he's like the same. Like his A assist is pretty much the only assist you should play. His C assist sucks, his B assist sucks, I think. But his A assist, pretty good. It's invincible after a couple frames. Pretty good. Combos all the time. Solid block stun. Good hitbox. Solid. Damage output relatively is pretty good with the right team setup and the right hit in general. The right hit, like off a normal, you know. But generally his damage output is pretty strong. Yeah, and he does have like other routes to do that people have started doing from what I've seen as well. Kind of a character that's like built to overwhelm and attempt to snowball, but in neutral, this character is a bit like anti-Dragon Ball, right? With like the 5S counter. I would say JS. JS is the better counter because 5S is just really slow, and you can just like vanish it. You can vanish it and not get punished for baiting him out and stuff like that. But I think overall, pretty strong character. I put him up here. I'm better than me. Very strong character overall. Does a lot of damage. The supers are good. The Z change are good. The Z change is good. But yeah, pretty solid. Just solid character. Come here. Yeah, that's good. Solid character. Let's go to Jiren. Okay, Jiren. I think they buffed to make him just work. Like before, the character wasn't really like working in season 2 too much. Like he kind of just didn't function. Now he plays like a normal character. Like you can do his like they gave his EX moves like purpose to use them. They made his combo routes up like way better. His assists are really good, like the A assist, and like just all his assists are pretty strong. Damage output is super high, and meter build super high, but doesn't do mix-ups. Frame data is like okay. A lot of people try to do like a lot of weird like gimmicky things with him where it just loses to like dash OS or like fuzzy jumping. So that's why I don't think he's as good as a lot of other people think. But I think he's overall just a solid character that works. He's better than this. Yeah, these two characters like that. That's good. Overall, this is solid. Not much to say about him, honestly. Gohan, I think his neutral is not that good. The damage output is okay, I think. Like, it's relatively good depending on the hit you get. But I think, like, mix-up wise, neutral wise, like, it's just not good. I think... And he lost snapback, right? So he lost, like, the set play. I just think his neutral's super hard to play, even with assists. Like, he's just a really hard character. And the reward you get off of hits with Gohan is not that high. It requires a lot of conditioning with really hard ways, because I feel like opponents can disrespect you as Gohan a lot, and a lot of players have dropped Gohan. I think Shanks is still playing him, and I think Wawa is still playing him. I don't know too much. No one really knows their team from what I know, or from what I've heard. So yeah, I'm just gonna put him there, and those are my opinions of him this season so far, right? Since we're so deep into having this patch. Goku Black. I think Goku Black is maybe A tier, but like, I don't know, the things you have to do as a Goku Black player, like the way I see people play, his normals are really slow, his damage output is not... He has good super, like his supers do so much damage, but like combo routes and stuff like that, they're also a bit unique. And he gets sliding knockdown like meterlessly sometimes in the corner. Half off EX God Slicer is also pretty good, but like his frame data is a bit slow, his buttons are slow, he can't really fight, and generally like I don't know, I just feel like Goku Black players are always just like, they're just doing things, you know, they're not really playing neutral, they're just trying to like get a hit and like forcing to fight. So it's a bit weird. Yeah. Gogeta, similar, frame data is really bad, doesn't really do mix-ups, neutral is also really bad. Yeah, I just don't think this character is that good. They're not horrible. When they hit you, they do a good amount of damage and build a good amount of meter, but it's just like, how do they hit you? You know? I don't know. I don't really know how they hit you. Blue Vegeta, I think, is better than these characters. But I think a lot of people hype this character up. So, I just don't know enough about him. A lot of Blue Vegetas I played too, I don't know, I just haven't played like a Blue Vegeta that's like, dang, this character's probably pretty good or better than what I think, you know? I just think this character though is not that good. They haven't really done much. Like the damage output I guess is okay from what I've seen from like the more advanced routes and stuff like that. Mix-ups are like okay too, but they're not gapless, right? So I think yeah, ArcSys really hasn't paid much attention to this character, and I don't really think they care about this character, so I think he like kind of sucks, and he's like an alright character. He's just alright. He's not really good, he's not horrible, he just sucks. Doesn't really work as a character too much, but he's better than these two, I think. Videl, this character just fucking sucks. She cannot do a block string. Her damage is like okay, she doesn't really get oki like that too much. She's like if you use Gohan, she's like minus on her Oki a lot because she has like landing recovery and shit like that. Or you just try to gimmick your opponent out with like the flips and the command grab. They're super reactable. Yeah, just not too good. Her assists suck too. They're not really that good. And then you got 16. This character, I think the only redeeming qualities they have are their jab and command grab. Other than that, this character is horrible. Their damage output is low, like outside of sparking, and they nerf this character's meter to like hell, bro. I don't know why. I mean, I don't care. Fuck this character. Like he caused me a lot of pain in season 1. But yeah, fuck this dude. He just sucks. He just sucks. They really did not. They were like, all right, this character was too broken. Let's just make him garbage. And they made him garbage. So yeah, like these characters are just garbage, straight up.